This is the box it came in. No damages. It is a big box. You can see it is almost 59 inches. Here's a clear view of the side of the box, and you can see the model number SDP-120, 88 keys electric piano. Here's a full view of the keyboard. On the left, that is the left speaker. So we have a music sheet stand, and this is the right speaker. So it's a simple keyboard. On power on, it defaults to 001, which is the grand piano, and also it defaults to maximum volume. So that's the volume. Okay, it defaults to 14, so you can go up to 16, and this is the loudest it sounds, which is okay for practice and solo in a living room setting. But if you want to be accompanied with other instruments or even a vocal singer, then you'll definitely need to amp it, because the loudness is not so much. And it's a basic control surface here, and although it has digital effects, everything is very basic here. You can see the controls. You start, stop, and then you can change between tone and rhythm. As in the manual you'll see 900 tones and a few rhythms. But that is not the main interest for most of the pianists. So they'll want the hammer action, which is really good. The action is good. It feels like a real piano, and for the price, it's about 300 Canadian dollars. I think this is awesome. The sound quality is really good, and the action is good. So what else? You can feel that the sound is good. So everything else is actually basic, but it works. And you can't expect much out of a 3-digit LED display. So you need to keep that manual with you always, at least the tones, and if you're interested in experimenting with other tones, which I don't want to, because this is exclusively meant to be used as a piano with hammer action with the pedals. Because as I mentioned, I have my main keyboard is a Korg PA4X. So this is just for the piano, full size, both hands playing, and my children also use, and this is for that. Now these are the connections at the back. We have the on-off switch, which is a little difficult to actually operate. So it's not in the front, especially when we have a smaller child trying to operate this keyboard. It's very difficult to reach here with the music stand in place to power it on and off. But anyway, that's what we have here. They have tried to minimize everything. Power switch, then along with the Bluetooth connectivity for apps. So you also have the USB connector here for MIDI, and then you can connect your MP3 player here to this USB port. Then we have the DC input here, although I think it is mentioned in the manual somewhere. I have seen that it is 6 volts. Actually it is not 6, it is 12 volts. Center pin is positive. Then we can input the audio so that you can use the built-in amplifier. We have the and also play along using your cell phone or whatever. We also have a headphone out, so you can practice quietly. And this is the 5-pin DIN connector for the pedal board. We get this AC to DC adapter. The advantage is this is 100 to 240 volts AC, so it can be plugged into the sockets of AC sockets of many countries here. So you can actually use any DC adapter that gives you 12 volts, minimum 2 amperes. The mains power cord length is not too long, but it is not expected because most often sit very close to the wall, and this is sufficient. If this sits on the floor, this length is sufficient to plug into the piano. And it uses a standard DC barrel connector. If this breaks, you can get another one. It's not an issue. We get this Pretty decent 3-pedal set, sustain, damper, and for the single note, I think the guys who play the piano, they know where to use the center one. This is the damper one, and this is the sustain. And this is metallic, thin sheet, but it is quite rigid. And for the money, I think this is okay. You can see the springs there. The feel is positive, good action, and the plastic doesn't look cheap. And this is how the bottom looks like. It will have a grip on the floor, so it won't move around. And the connector is a DIN. It's a 5-pin DIN, and it goes into the socket at the back of the keyboard. And the length is sufficient. This is the manual it comes with, SDP-120, but it is not well written. It has just the basic information what the buttons do, but the explanation is not good. In fact, the writing is pretty bad, but this is what we get.